Cactv, igniting the apostolic fire. Cactv, igniting the apostolic fire.
Wonderful Wednesday morning, Shego White, and I'm bringing you the news today, this morning. Before we go into the news, let me give you the headlines. Dangote Refinery initiates crude imports and expects first cargo in 2 weeks. Obasanjo links recent African coup to bad governance. Ogun governor calls for accountability and discipline in APC. And also in Labour, TUC gives federal government 2-week ultimatum after subsidy removal. In business, we have World Bank warns Niger coup could heighten food insecurity in West Africa. Also, Nigeria to invest $20 billion in power sector, $20 billion in power sector. In sports, goalkeeper scores 95th minute header, rescuing Champions League point. And also, Mikel Arteta urges Arsenal to create beautiful memories in Champions League return. And now the news in full. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery, a significant project in Nigeria, is currently in the process of importing crude oil and anticipates receiving its first crude cargo within the next 2 weeks. According to Devakuma Edwin, executive director of the Dangote Group, this move comes as the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited trades crude oil on behalf of Nigeria, but has committed its crude to other entities. While the specifics of these entities were not disclosed, NNPC previously reviewed a $3 billion crude oil for loan deal with the African Export-Import Bank. This deal permits the pledging of future oil production to the bank for loan repayment. The Dangote Refinery aims to begin production in October 2023 with an expected capacity of 370,000 barrels per day for diesel and jet fuel. Petrol production is set to commence by November 30, 2023, with plans to reach an impressive production capacity of 650,000 barrels per day. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo attributes recent African coup to bad governance. He attributes the recent spate of military coup in some African countries to the prevalence of bad governance. He highlighted the issue of bad governance, nepotism, favoritism, and sit-tight syndrome as factors fueling the coup. Obasanjo emphasized that citizens dissatisfied with the current government seek alternative liberators, leading to military interventions. He shared these thoughts during an interactive session on public service and governance held at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, engaging members of Africa for Africa Youth Initiative from several African nations. The governor of Ogun State, Governor Dapo Abiodun in Nigeria, emphasized the need for party discipline within the All Progressive Congress to ensure accountability for members' actions. He urged Wale Adebayo, the impeached chairman of Ijebu East local government, to defend allegations leveled against him and his government. Abiodun stressed the importance of holding individuals accountable for false accusations and actions that spoil the government's reputation. This calls for discipline in governance, and the party came during a meeting with APC leaders in Ijebu East local government. In an exclusive news this morning, youth protest erupts following Mohbad's demise. The demand for justice. The demise of Ilerioluwa Aloba popularly known as Mohbad, a young and promising singer, has sparked public outcry with the youth community demanding justice for his passing. The police force public relations officer Olumide Jobi confirmed that the force will thoroughly investigate a petition submitted by Mohbad before his untimely demise. The petition has accused music promoter Samson Balogun, also known as Sam Larry, and a group of 15 individuals of threatening Mohbad's life during a video shoot where he and another artist, Zlatan Ibile, were present. The police passing, the singer was unable to attend the initial investigation due to his demise. The public is closely watching for further developments and a fair investigation into the matter. Following the proposed labor strike, the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, urged the federal government to swiftly provide palliatives for workers following the removal of the subsidy on petrol, the PMS. The TUC President Comrade Festus Osifo expressed concern over workers' hardship resulting from the subsidy removal. This request came during a meeting with the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, as a follow-up to earlier discussions addressing organized labor's demands. Also in the news today, President Tinubu commits to addressing challenges in Nigeria's oil and gas industry. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assured international investors of his commitment to addressing challenges within Nigeria's oil and gas industry, leveraging his experience in the sector. He emphasized that Nigeria is open for business and ready to attract significant investments. Tinubu, during a meeting with the global leadership of ExxonMobil at the United Nations General Assembly, stated his readiness to solve industry's issues and facilitate large-scale capital inflows into Nigeria's oil and gas sector. In the health sector, diphtheria outbreak in Kano, death toll reaches 520. Dr. Mohammed Mahmood, the Director General of Kano State Primary Healthcare Management Board, revealed that approximately 520 children are suspected to have lost their lives due to the diphtheria outbreak in Kano State in the year 2023. Speaking at a media orientation on the diphtheria outbreak supported by UNICEF, Mahmood stated that Kano reported about 8,700 suspected cases of diphtheria this year. With 6,300 confirmed cases, the outbreak has been reported across 39 out of 44 local governments in the state, with a significant escalation in cases within the metropolitan local governments. Also, following the tribunal, the judgment of the tribunal at the last PEPT, Atiku Abubakar Peter Obi files appeal at Supreme Court to nullify election verdict. Presidential candidates Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi of the PDP and the Labour Party respectively have lodged separate appeals at the Supreme Court seeking to nullify the recent judgment affirming President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's victory in the February 25 polls. Atiku's appeal is based on 35 grounds, challenging aspects of the tribunal's ruling on electronic transmission of results and votes from the Federal Capital Territory, among others. Meanwhile, Obi's appeal is based on 51 grounds, contesting the September 6th judgment. Both candidates aim to have Tinubu's election nullified, asserting errors in the tribunal's decision. We got a quick break, and when we come back, we bring you news in the business world. Please stay tuned. This is CAC TV. the Niger coup is raising concern over food security in West Africa, according to World Bank. The recent coup d'etat in Niger has raised alarm within the international community, particularly the World Bank, regarding the potential adverse impact on the food market in Nigeria and other West African nations. The World Bank emphasized that an additional 7 million people in the region are now at risk of severe food insecurity due to soaring commodity and staple food prices, exacerbated by the coup and existing food security affecting 3.3 million people during the lean season. The bank calls for sustained food and delivery, considering the limited financial capacity of the Nigerian government to implement its food assistance programs. Nigerian government unveils their plan and ambition to invest $20 billion in the power sector to raise power generation by 20% megawatt in the year 2026. The Nigerian federal government is set to make a substantial investment of $20 billion in the power sector, focusing on the establishment of new power plants and transmission lines to boost electricity generation and enhance national grid stability. The announcement was made by the Power Minister Adebayo Adelabu during the ongoing Nigeria Energy Summit in Lagos. Adelabu emphasized the critical role of energy as the lifeblood of the economy, stating the government's intention to attain a power generation capacity of at least 20,000 megawatts within the next 3 years. He stressed